Hello, a quick update from me today because we have some breaking news and there has been developments in the search for Watford's next head coach. Ed Steele is no more and we have been scouting out candidates over the past couple of weeks, and it appears today on Wednesday evening as I record this that Watford have finally found their man. Niels Frederiksen, a Danish head coach in his mid-50s, currently in charge of Lech Poznań. His contract is due to expire at the end of this season. They have just won the division again, back-to-back for the second time. They have one game remaining, and from reports both in Poland and here in the UK, it does seem like Watford are in advanced talks to bring him to Vicarage Road. Now, what is my initial reaction to this news? What I'll say first and foremost is that this is a very left field name that I certainly didn't expect. We've been sat here on the Watford Way for the past couple of weeks discussing candidates ranging all the way from John Dow Thomason, Russell Martin, Marty Cifuentes, Scott Parker, Errol Bullitt, and we seem to have finally landed on a name I don't think anyone really expected. Before we dive into what Frederickson could offer Watford, there has been a lot of talk today on social media, harking back to the comments Scott Duxbury made just a few days ago on the official Watford FC podcast, and I'm going to read them to you again today, word by word. And he spoke about the recruitment strategy and what Watford were looking for in our next head coach. And Scott said they will have experience, someone who has won previously and knows how to navigate a long championship season. And I think the key takeaway from that is kind of the end bit there. They know how to navigate a long championship season. Now, a lot of Watford fans appear to have taken that as the head coach having championship experience, which I absolutely understand, because it does appear, right, from the way Scott Duxbury spoke, that the next head coach would have previously managed, I should say, in the English Football League at the very least. But what I think Scott Duxbury actually meant was that the next head coach would be of an experienced ilk and would know how to navigate a long domestic club season and has done previously, rather than actually having managed in England before, if you understand my drift. So look, I'm not trying to save Scott Duxbury's skin here by any means, but I do think a lot of Watford fans have maybe taken his words the wrong way when it comes to his specifications for the next head coach. I think what we can say is that on paper, he is, of course, very experienced. He's won back-to-back league titles with Lech Poznań. I believe he done similar back in Brøndby as well. He had a good spell with the Danish under-21s and promoting young talent through there. So on paper, you can argue actually that he does fit the build for what Watford are looking for in the next head coach. He plays a 4-2-3-1, a 4-3-3, high fullbacks pushing onwards as much as possible, wingers cutting inside, getting shots away on goal, free-flowing, high-press, attacking football, all of the correct buzzwords. That's exactly what we want to hear. But of course, we can't judge Frederickson until he steps through the door at Vicarage Road on match day 1, when we're all kicked off and ready to go in our seats. So I think for me, I certainly am feeling more positive than I felt I would be. That seems crazy to say, especially after the negative end to the season. And maybe this is naivety from me. Maybe I'm going a little bit crazy having not watched Watford for a few weeks now, but I like what I'm seeing initially. I'll have to do a bit more research. I'm trying to get a couple of Polish journalists actually to come on here and talk to me a bit more in depth about Frederickson as a person, what his personality is like, the tactics he uses, and his journey into management as well. Because actually, when you look at his career record, he's not been at too many clubs, and he likes to stick around places for a long period of time. So for me, if this is to inspire confidence in the fan base, rather than Ed Steele, who signed kind of a 2.5-year deal, I'd love to see Frederickson come in, and I know it means nothing really at Watford, but sign a 3 or 4-year deal, because for me that is a statement of intent from the club, and hopefully longer term a change in strategy moving forward. We've heard already over the past few days about the fact that Juan-Luc Nani is going to take a step back in recruitment heading into next season after the new head coach comes in. Luke Dowling, who was here previously many years ago, has come back to head up the domestic recruitment. So there are subtle changes happening behind the scenes. I believe Barami is still sticking around from what I've read. Ultimately, what we want at Watford is really an overhaul of our entire strategy moving forward and how we operate as a football club. We need to learn to not be trigger happy. We have to stick with someone through the hard times. And I've got no doubts that during the interview process, Niels Frederiksen would have made that very, very clear. It seems like he's had interest from clubs in the German Bundesliga as well. So you can tell he's well thought of in Europe. He is of quite a high caliber, I would say. He's certainly going to demand quite an expensive wage, I would imagine. So my first reaction is positive, but absolutely, I can also understand fans who are hesitant as well, because we have now seen years and years and years of consistent failure. Not necessarily in player recruitment, of course, that's a factor, but we've got the head coach wrong so many times now, and we've had good managers in the building. Slaven Bilic was someone I admired, and he found success elsewhere. Chris Wilder, a very good English manager, he wasn't kept on by Watford. I could name you lots of other examples as well, but the point is, Watford have to stick with someone, and if it is Niels Frederiksen, given his track record of staying at clubs for a long time, let's hope this is finally the start of a new strategy moving forward. So let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments section down below. And if this does get confirmed, I'll be back with a deeper dive into Frederickson and what he can offer to this Watford side. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.